and they took a look at how the stem cells actually regenerated and how white blood cells reacted to the response of fasting. Well, what they found was, of course, fasting ultimately depleted white blood cells, which sounds like a bad thing. But it's actually a good thing, because what we do want to have happen is the white blood cells to eventually die off so that the body can create stronger, more efficient ones. And that's exactly what's happening. So these depleted white blood cells ended up leading to stem cells producing more. When the white blood cells went down, it kick-starts the stem cells to have to go into regeneration mode. Whenever your stem cells go into regeneration mode, you're producing new white blood cells, and that is allowing the body to be able to recover better. Therefore, those new white blood cells that are being produced by those stem cells regenerating are stronger, healthier, and a lot more resistant. Now, to add insult to injury in a good way, we ended up finding that there was a reduced amount of pKa as well. Now pKa is a gene restriction thing. So basically what that means is when you're talking about fasting, you're talking about the relationship with stem cells. If you have low levels of pKa, it means that allows the stem cells to turn on into regeneration mode. The stem cells are now in the position to start creating new cells, otherwise they go kinda dormant. Okay, so now let's get into the fun stuff. So the insulin link, I call this the insulin link, because fasting reduces insulin. But again, referencing a study, the Journal of Immunology found that high levels of insulin prevent what are known as T cells from doing their job well, also known as T-rex. Now then, of course, T cells are there to actually suppress inflammation and to fight off certain illnesses if we have a disease in the body. Or if we have an infection or anything like that. We have inflammation and T cells usually come in and fight that inflammation off. T cells or a white blood cell that's actually formed from the marrow that regulate immune function. So we have helper vs. killer cells. These purple things indicate crazy bad things that shouldn't be in the body. Okay, let's just say they're some kind of infectious disease or some kind of bacteria. So what ends up happening is these helper T cells that they're called, they come through and they identify these foreign bodies, and they put a tag on them. And that tag says, kill. Okay, that tag, they've now been tagged as a bad foreign object. Then what happens is the killer T cells, which are these big Pac-Man looking things, they come in, and they try to identify anything that has a label that the helper cell put on it. In this case, this item right here has a kill label applied. So the killer T cell is coming through to eat it. So they work in tandem, helper T cells and killer T cells. Now, when we have high levels of insulin in the body, like every time we eat, or every time we have a lot of sugar, we end up having that insulin that ends up making it so the T cells can't do their job, meaning our immune system is not functioning as well. So fasting and insulin have a strong connection, because every time that we fast, our body slowly starts utilizing stored fat as a fuel source because we're not feeding it glucose. Consequently, that lipid droplet shrinks and it becomes much more sensitive to insulin, meaning the cells need less insulin to get the job done. Less overall insulin is needed, consequently, less insulin in the bloodstream. Therefore, more killer and helper cells doing what they need to do, doing their Pac-Man thing. Then we get over to ketones and inflammation. When you're fasting, you are producing ketone bodies, plain and simple. Ketosis and fasting are two different things. But the end result within the body metabolically is about the same. Yale University did a study specifically looking at ketones and beta-hydroxybutyrate. They exposed human immune cells to beta-hydroxybutyrate, and found there was a huge suppression in inflammation. Now the way that this beta-hydroxybutyrate had an effect on the immune cells was actually by working against what's called the NIRP3 inflammasome. This NRP3 inflammasome is a multiprotein ligament that allows your body to trigger inflammation. So when we reduce that NIRP3, we are getting rid of that catalyst for inflammation, or at least reducing it. So therefore the body doesn't produce as much inflammation, and you end up having a happier situation, a better immune system. When you're fasting, you're giving your digestive system a chance to recover the autophagy that's occurring. Everything that's occurring is allowing the body to recover and allowing it to heal the digestive tract. That means more gut motility. That means your bowels are moving, able to go to the bathroom, able to flush things out. Things are moving along in the right direction, which thereby leads to a balanced gut flora. Now if you've seen a lot of the link between the gut-brain axis and the enteric brain in the enteric nervous system, we now know that digestion plays a huge role in not only our mental health, but also our immune system. Got 60% of our immune system is right there in our colon. So if we are getting things moving, simply because we're fasting and allowing those cells to heal and increasing the motility, we're doing ourselves a huge service by improving our immune system that way.